Can't hear you. Let me see. Can you hear me?
Mike, I can't hear you.
Okay. Yeah, Mike, we can't hear you, Mike.
Mike, can't hear you. So, sorry about that. Technical issues. We are here with Trevor, Trevor Jr. I just realized that you're a junior.
Yes, sir.
What does your dad look like? How big is your dad?
Oh, my dad will be front and center at the fight. This is going to be his actual first time seeing me fight professionally. So my father will definitely be at this fight. My father is a decent sized man, 6 foot man, six
Wow.
foot strong man from Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? So he'll be there. Yeah, we can't hear you, Mike.
Yeah. Wow. So, that's great, Trevor. So you're fighting. You got a big fight versus Daniel Dubois. June 11th, Miami Casino Highlight. 12 rounds of heavyweight action.
Yes,
How
sir.
you how you feeling for that?
On my part, we definitely going to deliver fireworks for you guys. We're going to bring early July into June. So it's going to be nothing but heat down in Miami, baby, where all the heat and the bums is out. So we here. Make sure you guys get there early. There's a couple of other good undercard fights as well. But the main attraction is Danny the Boss and Trevor Bryan, and we definitely going to bring some heat, baby.
Yeah, that's great, man. I'm real excited for this. Because this is the fight that you've been waiting for.
Hmm.
Tell me about that.
Well, I am the heavyweight champion, and I have already defend my title. But here I go again with another title defense. This will make it 2 for this year. And like I said, this guy I'm fighting is another strong fighter, but I feel like he doesn't have enough experience. Plus, he's a quitter. So the Dream is going to do what he does. You guys been watching me, following me for years, and you guys see how I elevated my career so far. And like I said, coming June 11th, you guys are going to see some more from the Dream. But heavyweight champion now, you understand? And still.
So what's up, Trevor? Now that I can hear you, what's going on?
We can hear you, Mike. There you go.
There
We can hear you, Mike.
We finally got it working out.
Got
How about
you.
that, man? A couple minutes too late, but we made it happen. So, hey, I don't know what you guys talked about the first couple minutes, but did they give you a proper presentation?
Oh man, go ahead. Give me another presentation, baby. I need it, baby. Give me another intro. Go ahead. Do another intro, baby.
Look. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this evening we got a special guest for you this evening. Look at this man right here alongside me on the screen. We got the WBA World Heavyweight Champion, the undefeated 22-0 Trevor, the Dream Bryan. And
Let's go,
that
champion in the
belt
building.
again on the 11th, and he vows to continue, just keep on rolling.
Yes, sir. That's what we plan to do. Keep it rolling, baby. Every little step that you guys give me, man, I'm gonna take that step, man. I'm busting in the door. They can't hold me back too much longer.
Yeah, no shit. I can see that, man. No, that's good stuff, man. Look, Daniel Dubois, I heard you just a minute ago talking about him a little bit. You mentioned the word quitter. Obviously, you're talking about the Joe Joyce fight, right? And, they say he, I guess, broke his eye socket or something like that? That's what rumor says. I don't know, exactly what happened, during that fight. But, it was a tough fight. Obviously, he had a tough fighter in front of him. He now says he's trying to vow to take out that loss and wipe it out. And he vows to take it all on you. I don't know if you've been hearing all the stuff that's been coming out of his mouth. But he plans on knocking you out real early. So, I mean, what do you have to say in response to that?
Okay. And if you don't knock me out early,
Mute. Mute.
Trevor, you're on mute. You muted. Your phone's muted. Trevor, we can't hear you.
Yeah, do you see that little button on the bottom of the screen? There should be a little mic button on the bottom of the screen there. That should not be crossed out. Yeah, I can't get you, man.
All right, damn, I'm back.
There it is. You got
I
it.
got so many people calling me, man. They calling me. But like I said, though, this is going to be a hard fight for the Dubois. I plan to do what Trevor Bryan does best. The Dream does best. Work everything off my jab. Keep feeding him with my jab. I'm not an amateur. I'm a professional fighter. So you thinking that you're just going to come in and bum rush me with a barrage of punches? Nah, man. I got too much ring. I got too much ring swag. Too much ring experience for someone to just rush me and bum rush me. Like I said, it's going to be a tough and rough day for Danny Dubois. So, like I said, I'm ready to go. We're going to bring fireworks.
You're freezing up a little on my end. I'm not sure if everyone else is seeing the same. Hey, you're back. You're coming and going, man. But we're catching most of what you're saying. So I want to go back a little bit what you were saying before you got stuck on mute, and you were responding to the fact that Dubois said, I'm going to knock him out early. So, your response to that was what?
What would you do? What's the game plan?
Right.
I mean, I'm a professional. I train for every aspect that might. And if he think that he's going to with his confidence knock me out, it's going to be a long night. And like I said, I'm going to do what the Dream does best. I'm going to feed him with this jab till he's full, and I'm going to take him out. Man. If you talk about that totally healed. Means this jab straightforward. So like I said, it's going to be a long night for boys. Like I said, June 11th, make sure you get there to see it. Be nothing but action.
So it sounds to me like you're actually planning on stopping that fight sometime early. You're not expecting to go 12 rounds.
Listen, man. If the knockout comes early, late, Bryan's going to be there all the time. When I see the opportunity, I'm going to take it.
Right. Hey, I'm with that, man. That sounds good. And when you hear him say something like that, hey, I'm going to knock him out, does that just motivate you to want that knockout that much more?
Well, at the end of the day, I'm a professional, man. I know how to ring for any type of that makes in that fight. You come with, like I said, punches. I know how to get on my way. I know how to box going back. Does this guy know? I haven't seen that fight. Like I said, like if you come to get the knockout early, I feel sorry for you. All that's going to do is make me do better in my feeding this jab into his face.
Right, and I want to add that to the fans watching, because if you don't know too much about Trevor's resume, a couple of fights that he's recently had over big name opponents. He stopped BJ Flores, he stopped the former heavyweight champ of the world, Bermain Stavern. So you've obviously been in with some guys that have a lot of experience, who themselves have knocked a lot of guys out in the past, and you've been able to take advantage of that event. And obviously, he's coming, like you said, Dubois does not have a lot of experience. The biggest name he's fought against was Joe Joyce. Outside of that name, who else was there? And Joe Joyce, of course, at the time was only 11-0, 12-0. So it definitely seems like you got a lot more experience on your side of things. So let's talk a little bit about going into your training. So you've been training with Messiah, and you've been doing that for a long time. You've known Messiah. You've been by his side for a really long time. Messiah, and of course, when Mel was around as well. I know you're training with Stacy also. Are you still in there with Stacy as much as you are with Messiah training?
Yeah.
Or?
Well, Messiah actually always been in my corner, always been on my side. I know Messiah back Moby, New York. Same well as Jamel Edie. Like I said, Messiah Jason McKinley has always been my trainer. Messiah is my team manager as well. So he's always been there, guided by best direction where I am now in the world. But like I said, shout out to my whole team, Kelly, my head coach, Messiah Edie, my coordinator and manager, Also, my strength conditioning coach, Ramon Hayes, also Jeff Williams, guys that helped me along the way. But like I said, we hard, we're getting in great shape. I'm definitely at the level I said before. Trevor Bryan doesn't look like that heavyweight. I mean, Tyson Fury defeated all of that. I'm never going to be a multi-pound guy that cut with all these muscles and all. I have a fight. That's really I come in shape. So but actually this fight is much lighter than I was the last fight. Like I said, I'm just if it goes 12 rounds, 12 rounds hard. They're early, but like I said, Trevor Bryan is going to be this fight.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I still remember when you came out from Syracuse and you were training at Gold's.
Mm-hmm. Way back.
Yeah, way back in the day, man. I have a very good friend of mine, an old business partner that used to train out there with you guys. An older guy. He trained with you guys out there. He used to always talk about the after training ping pong games with Corey.
Oh yeah, we used to have. Challenge anybody after the fight. What's up?
That was always the thing, and I used to try to get him to come out to fights. He's like, "It's Wednesday. I got to play ping pong with Corey. I have to do it." Like, all right. He's missed out on so much because of that.
Yeah,
right?
that was the thing, man. Back then, the hard day. We're going to take it to the Gold Gym and we get that ping pong turn going on.
Hey, you got to let some steam off somehow, right? Outside of boxing. So look, you're on the verge of erupting, man, in a big way over a top contender like this. We talked about that. I'm going to sidestep it for a second because Matt, another guy who should be jumping on the show here in a little while. He works with us, the Fighting News. He and I have been talking a lot about this, and there's a lot of sanctioning bodies out there that have a lot of different versions of their belts. Mm-hmm. Right? Obviously, WBA is one of them. Now, WBA has come out and stated, I think it was probably about a month, 2 months ago, if I'm not mistaken, and said they're trying to reduce and consolidate all those belts back down to, just only having a certain number of champions. You are currently the world champion at WBA. We know there's a world super champion at WBA. I have the belief that everybody should be ranked based upon those belts right now, and that's kind of how they'll be able to get it done. Mm-hmm. So right now, where you're sitting, as the WBA world champion, you should be right there behind Usyk as far as rankings are concerned, because he's got the super belt, you got the regular belt, which means, if you win this fight, and obviously when you win this fight, the idea is that you should automatically get that shot at Usyk without, do not pass go, do not stop, do not $200 type of shit, I know Usyk's got some business with Joshua. They got to resolve that. If Usyk should win that fight, are you anticipating when you win this fight against Dubois that you absolutely will get that shot at Usyk should he prevail in the rematch with Joshua?
Well, that's the plan. Let's bring it back. Like you said, there has been many belts for all these different organizations as well. Same with the WBA. WBA did have the interim belt, which they did rule that one out, and now it's just the regular belt, which I have, and the Super WBA belt. You got to realize that the Super WBA belt is a new belt, fairly new belt. The regular WBA belt is what all the champions, it's the original belt that all the champions had before. So I don't know how they're going to, get rid of history and cancel the regular WBA belt. Now, Super belt, it still has more, I don't know what's the word, during the hold in the class itself, the organization. Like I said, though, for Anthony Usyk rematch, I'm ready to fight bells after that. Like I said, I'm going to take care of what I have to do, another stepping stone. And I'm going for those guys is the fights that one fights calling the past 2 years. Here now, they're not going to. Daniel Dubois that's trying to take my throne is not top either. So I'm going to take care of it. Then after that, with the winner, Joshua or Usyk, like I said, hopefully within my management coaching, I can get straight to that fight. No other hiccups.
Right. I understand. Now, so obviously there's a thing that goes on in boxing quite often where, they want to make these super fights. They try to grab these names and they think, okay, this is what's going on. It could be, Deontay Wilder gets back in the mix and they say, look, we'd love to see Usyk and Wilder fight, and this is the money fight right now. and they figure, hey, Trevor can wait. But then they're talking about if you're number one and you're the mandatory at that point in time, you get step aside money. What do you feel about step aside money and waiting 6 months to a year to try to get a shot at that belt? Is that worth it to somebody like you, or you're like, hey, look, I just want the damn fight. I don't care.
I'm the champion. I'm just trying to put on my legacy. If you had said that years ago, when I had the intern and working my way to get the regular WBA title that I have now, I mean, that was something different. It's everybody's different because everybody's at a different point in their career. You see what I'm saying? For me, it's not gonna work for me because I want all the belts. So no step aside. And you know how boxing goes. I mean, we got one champion today, another champion tomorrow. You never know how it goes. So to take that step aside money is actually really putting yourself at risk of not really obtaining that title or not getting that chance to fight for that title. Because you know how, like I said, this boxing thing goes. But I have one of the best promoters in the world. And he's going to go down as the historian of being the number one promoter in the world, which is Don King only in America, baby. Don King. And Don King's going to do what's right. We're going to get these – after I would knock this guy out on June 11th, and we're going on to that race for the for the Super WBA title and along with them other belts. And that's what we want to do, and that's what we're going for. So step aside money. Don't hit me with that. All right.
Yeah, I remember, I don't know how many years ago we're talking about, but, you and I spoke back at the Heavyweight Factory, and we had just come down from 5th Street. We came up from 5th Street, and we had interviewed Peter Quillin. Mm-hmm. Peter Quillin was about to fight Daniel Jacobs. So that's how far back it was, right? Yeah. And so we were talking to Peter, then we came over, and we spoke with you and Amir. Oh, by the way, how's Amir doing?
Amir doing great, man.
Okay. I haven't seen him, man. I haven't seen him around. I used to see him out in Coconut Creek, but I haven't seen him. I know, someplace else. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad. I'd like to probably get him on the show one of these days, man. I'll find out what he's doing. So, like I said, we left Peter Quillin. We came over to you guys. So something was interesting that Peter Quillin said. Then I asked you guys about the same thing just an hour later. And Quillin said, I don't give a shit about belts anymore.
Yeah.
He said, I've already been a world champion. He goes, I've already gotten that. Right now, it's all about money. He said, I'm a prize fighter. I'm all about the prize. I just want that money right now. Mm-hmm. Whatever the biggest fight is, I want to have fewer fights the rest of my career, make my money, and get out. Mm-hmm. And I came to you guys, and you're like, what are you talking about? I can't remember if it was you or Amir that actually said, what do you mean? The belts are everything. That's all there is right now. You have to have the belts.
Like I said, even that add-on that from years back, I remember that.
Yeah.
That conversation that we had back at the Heavy Factory. At that point, we were steps in our career. I mean, we didn't have any belts. We were just in the top 10 at that point. So for guys that's coming into the professional rank, they're trying to build their rank, and whatever sanction at the end, the belt is everything. They're trying to obtain that belt, to grab that belt, to make their name, so they can try to become bigger than the belt. But am I bigger than the belt yet? No, not yet. Because the world doesn't know my name. But I'm in the right track. Even being the heavyweight, having the regular WBA title, everybody's going to know my name after the fight, going into the next fight. Like I said, I'm going to take care of business on June 11th. And like I said, I'm going to hold these, attain the rest of the belt and build my own legacy. Like I said, a household name like you said, either Peter Quillin or Mayweather or Mike Tyson. So the belts are everything. And my belt, I love it. I care for it so much. That's why I'm going to fight to the death for.
Yeah, hey, I'm with you completely, 100% on that. So, you touched on that a little bit earlier too. You want all those belts, so you're just going to get belt and keep trying to collect more and more and more and more. So that's obviously what's most important to you. So It's just interesting. You get a different take depending on, who you're speaking with. But you're still a young guy. You're still a young guy. You got a long career ahead of you. Peter was kind of looking at it maybe towards the twilight of it, and he's thinking, well, like I said, he wants to fight maybe 5-6 more times at most in his career. He's thinking, I just want the money.
Yeah.
It's a different thing. But, you're
we want the money too. By the way, we feed our family. Like I said, this belt is mine. My house. Daniel Boyce is trying to break into my house 11 and try to take what's mine. Just like that, a hostile idiot, I'm going to take him out.
So let's go back a minute because we were just talking again about WBA being one of the companies, of course, that has put a few belts. Is that something that your opinion? Do you like? Obviously, I'm talking to you. You have one of those belts, but do you think that's a good idea that the sanctioning bodies have so many belts? That way, so many people can fight for belts, and so many people can call themselves champions and walk around. Or do you think it's better that they do consolidate? Would you like to see more of a consolidation?
Well, I'm kind of because I feel that my belt is precious to me. For me to have the opportunity to get my belt, I had the belt before that, which we got rid of. And that was just a regular WBA belt, and WBA belt. I mean, like I said, it's all the business. They have more safety, they have more belts. But I mean, I feel like fans feel like it's more washed up. There's so many champions everywhere. But like I appreciate the opportunity I had within the WBA rankings and the same by yourself, get the intern. Now I got the regular WBA belt, and I'm going for that super. So, like I said, it's all a business. One hand wash the other. Like I said, I'm a champion. I represent one of the belts, one of the major belts, WBA regular belt. And I'm going to hold this. I'm going to show the people that I'm building my legacy with this belt. Shout out to the WBA as well, because they made me to who I am. I'm happy where I am now in my career with this belt.
Right. And on my side of it, my opinion of it is that, it's great that they give so many opportunities to so many people. That's what it is. Boxing's all about opportunities. I like that, but it does just get confusing. So they just have to find a better way. And like I said, I think, kind of creating a ranking system out of it, like you got a belt and that means this. Don't just say you got a belt and people are confused. Like, I don't know what that means.
Exactly.
You confuse everyone. But it should put you in a position where you're like, okay, now I know who I am. I know I'm right there and I'm supposed to be fighting for the next one. And then that you step up, the next person takes the next one, and it just kind of washes one hand to the other. So that's a great way to go. Look, so Daniel Dubois, let's talk about your opponent again here for a minute. We know he has that loss against Joe Joyce, and like I said, I know it was a very tactical match up to the point where he got stopped. And what did you take away from that fight? Did you learn anything about Daniel Dubois and his fight style that'll actually help you tremendously in this fight?
Yeah, he comes forward. He doesn't know how to fight anymore. He just forward with it. What are you going to do with a boxer? Step around and use angles. I mean, use the whole ring. I mean, you just come forward. I mean, throwing punches all over the place. Like I said, I have a heart of a lion. See my brave on my chest. This is what I represent. You got to do more than that to take over the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
Like I said, what are you going to do if you don't knock me out early? Like, it's going to be long enough. I mean, you think you're just going to knock me out with 4 to 5 rounds? I'm in shape for 15 rounds. Man, I know we ain't going 15, but we're trained for that. So 12 is going to be nothing. And I'm going to be feeding that all night towards us. So we're going to see what's going to happen. I mean, once he gets a little fatigued and he gets worried because, damn, I just got my best shot, going nowhere. What's going to happen? That's when that heart, and that's when you're going to be thinking about the Joe Joyce fight. You're going to think about quick for a way out. I'm telling you, I'm coming all night and feed him with this, and I'm throwing him out with this. So, like I said, June 11th, you guys will be there witness.
Oh, yeah. We'll be right there watching that thing, man. It's right here in our backyard, so we love the fact that it's right here. We love the fact that Don King brought it down here to Miami. That was great. We were concerned it would be a little too far to travel. But so look, you're training, but you're in Vegas right now training, right? So,
Vegas.
You did? Okay. I mean, what reason did you decide to pick Vegas?
I chose Vegas for altitude. The mountains that they have up in Florida, we have the heat, but other than that, everything is flat. I wanted to for my endurance. That's why I took my camp with Vegas. We'll be back on.
Okay. You'll be back and you'll be ready to go.
More time, baby.
Yeah. Hey, look, we're ready. We're ready for all that. So let's talk about the heavyweight picture for a minute, just overall. So we mentioned those names earlier on, Usyk and Joshua. So what do you think is going to take place in that rematch?
Like I said, me personally, I think that Joshua, his belt's back because he wanted to fight Joshua. But like I said, whoever wins, Trevor's on deck. So I'm gonna take over. So I can still have that fight. Victorious.
Right. And I mean, if you can disclose this information right now, how much are you going to be weighing in at for weigh-in for this fight?
Like I was telling, I'm a heavyweight. I'm going to be in the heavyweight division. I'm becoming somewhere heavyweight. But I'm gonna be looking way better. Was my last fight,
and I'll be in great shape. I never fight. No matter what you see my body look, never coming. Even with Berman, fought him in later rounds and knocked out 11th round. Even with hard, tough, great, fought him hard last round. You know? So I'm gonna be in shape. I want you guys to just know that ain't stopping here. After I get done past, get done DT, I'm going on that. Much more from the Bryan legacy.
And the only reason I talk about weight is because, I've had this conversation with several people about, when Deontay Wilder fought Tyson Fury. And I feel like Deontay Wilder did a lot of things right in that fight. The problem was it was a 45 weight disparity between these two guys. Mm-hmm. You're talking about like a lightweight fighting a light heavyweight. Yeah. It's not going to work out. It's just not going to work out. And I've attested to the fact that I think that Deontay Wilder is definitely one of the best fighters under 240 pounds. Mm-hmm. That's the idea. But if he's fighting guys that are up there at 270 and change, he's going to have a hard time. It's just like in any other weight category. It's the same thing. You see these, great fighters stepping up a couple of weight classes thinking that they're going to do some damage. It didn't work out for Amir Khan. It didn't work out for Mikey Garcia. It's just not going to work out for most guys. They can do everything right, but, the absorption of the punches is a whole different animal. So that's the only reason I mentioned the weight, because obviously you're at a weight that I think, you're actually more well balanced. Obviously, you're much heavier than Wilder, not quite as heavy as Tyson Fury. So you kind of have that mid range right there where I think you can hang with all those guys.
Mm-hmm. Well.
So yeah, we're looking forward, man. Looking forward to all these great fights coming up this year. And this one especially, because we want to see you move on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You guys are going to see me move on. June 11th. Stay tuned. Make sure they're going down.
Right. And everybody, as you've been seeing scrolling across the bottom of the screen there, June 11th at the Miami Highlight, or Miami Casino rather, that's where it's going to take place. The headliner sitting right here by my side, Trevor the Dream Bryan, 22-0, the world champion, WBA heavyweight. He'd be taking on Daniel Dubois on a pretty stacked card. I got to say, there's a couple other good name fighters on there, a couple of the guys we've been following their careers for quite a long time. Ahmed El-Biali comes to mind right there. He finally got back in action. He's on your card. And, a kid that we've been watching since the Golden Gloves, Night. We've been watching, I don't know if you know too much about that kid, but he's a decent fighter too, Isaiah Thompson.
Okay.
But, looking forward to a whole stacked night, but, all focus is going to be on your fight right there to see, how you disparage this guy and how you move on and go for those bigger names.
Thank you. Yep. Yeah, like
Trevor, tell everybody. I'm sorry. I was going to say, tell everybody how they can follow you on social media.
I was just about to make sure all the people follow me at Trevor on IG, Bryan on Facebook, Bryan Jr. on Twitter. Also, guys, check out my clothing, braveclothing.com. We're also on IG as well as Brave Clothing. Like I said, the train where I go, keep this line on my chest. Like I said, I'm a warrior inside, iron inside. This man's coming in my home and what's mine. And I'm gonna keep that hot with Delhi. And like I said, man, only in America, representing Don King Production. And like I said, Trevor Bryan, champion of the world, regular WBA. Let's check out June 11th. It's going down at Maha Casino Jala. Going down there. People, please don't be late. Get there. Trevor Bryan's going to bring straight.
Trevor, it's a great way to put it. All of it right there. So look, we're looking forward to watching that fight. We'll definitely be out there rooting you on, and look, we'll bring you back on the show again after you win this one. We can talk about what the future is going to be for you, right? We got to see how the dream continues.
Keep the dream alive, baby. And listen, this fight is called War and Peace. But before you can have war, before you can have peace, you got to have war, baby. So it's going down.
All right. Hey, we appreciate the time. Thanks a lot. I know you got to get back and do what you got to do. So hey, we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, champ. Let's go, champ.
Take care. Have a great night. All right. And that was Trevor Bryan. Again, the WBA heavyweight champion, what some people would call the regular belt. And again, as Trevor mentioned, it is the main belt, is the belt. The difference is they've created a super belt, and now Alexander Usyk holds that belt, the one that he took from Anthony Joshua. Those two guys are going to be going at it again in their rematch to figure out who actually should be holding that belt, as well as the other two belts that are held, which is the IBF and the WBO. And we know that the WBC belt right now is held by Tyson Fury, but he's vacated.
Saturday, June 11th, live on pay-per-view. Don King Productions presents The Fight for Freedom and Peace. Undefeated Trevor, the Dream Bryan, takes on Daniel Dynamite Dubois for the WBA Heavyweight Championship. Plus title fights featuring undefeated heavyweight Dakari Scott taking on Jonathan Guidry. Cruiserweight champion Johnny Langston, plus NABA welterweight champ Trayshawn Wiggins as he defends his belt against Travis Castellon. Plus light heavyweight sensation Ahmed El Biali. Contact your cable or satellite provider today. The Fight for Freedom is live.
And there it is. You've just seen the promo. That's the event that we've been talking about all night here. Trevor the Dream Bryan, the undefeated heavyweight champ, currently right now taking on better competition in Daniel Dubois, whose only fall was against Joe Joyce, a big name in the sport. We're looking forward to seeing what Trevor can do down here at Miami Highlight on June 11th. Beyond that, a lot more bigger and better things coming around as well. We'll hope to have Trevor back on again, should he prevail in victory that night. And everyone, we appreciate you tuning in and checking out Trevor and what he had to say. We'll get some more information from him next time out. And we had a little audio issues kind of going on throughout the night, but we'll clear all that up next time out. We'll have a much clearer picture with him. And we look forward to speaking with you guys and telling you what's going on again very, very soon. So everyone, have a great night. Take care.